Deep beneath the surface of the Gobi Desert lies a structure that defies both architectural logic and human ethics. It is a vertical tomb of concrete and silence, containing thousands of prisoners who cannot move and a single observer that never blinks. This is the formal report for SCP-3220.
Item number SCP-3220. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. A perimeter has been established around the access point of SCP-3220, disguised as a warehouse for a local mining operation. Any unauthorized personnel attempting to enter the site are to be detained, interrogated, and administered Class A amnestics.
Entrance to the primary shaft of SCP-3220 is strictly prohibited without Level 4 clearance. No personnel are permitted to descend below the first level of the structure. All surveillance of the lower levels is to be conducted via remote-operated drones.
Description: SCP-3220 is a large subterranean panopticon located in the Gobi Desert, extending approximately 1 kilometer into the Earth. The structure is composed primarily of reinforced concrete and unknown metallic alloys that show no signs of degradation or oxidation, despite the age of the site.
The facility is circular, featuring a vast central shaft 300 meters in diameter. Surrounding this shaft are exactly 1,000 floors. Each floor contains 40 individual cells arranged in a perfect circle along the outer wall. These cells face the center of the shaft, separated from the void by a single pane of reinforced non-reflective glass.
In the dead center of the shaft stands a single monolithic pillar that extends the entire depth of the facility. At the level of each floor, this pillar features a single circular observation window. Within this central pillar, there is no evidence of stairs, elevators, or mechanical systems. It appears to be a solid, singular needle of obsidian-like stone, punctuated only by the viewing ports.
Within each of the 40,000 cells resides a single instance of SCP-3220-1. These entities are humanoid in shape, but lack any defining facial features, hair, or primary sexual characteristics. Their skin has the texture and appearance of painted concrete. Though they are physiologically identical to the statues commonly associated with SCP-173, these instances are immobile and do not exhibit the hostile, snapping behaviors of that entity.
Instead, every instance of SCP-32201 remains in a state of absolute stillness, positioned to face the central tower. They do not eat, sleep, or breathe in a conventional sense, yet thermal imaging confirms that their internal temperature remains a constant 37 degrees Celsius.
Biological analysis of an instance recovered from Floor 1 reveals that while the exterior is concrete, the internal structure is composed of living human tissue, including a nervous system, skeletal structure, and a rudimentary circulatory system. However, these organs are fused directly into the concrete shell, making extraction impossible without the immediate death of the entity.
The most disturbing aspect of SCP-3220 is the nutrient delivery system. A series of small brass tubes are embedded into the neck of each instance, leading back into the rear wall of the cell. These tubes intermittently pulse with a viscous, translucent fluid that provides the biological components with just enough sustenance to prevent cellular decay, but not enough to allow for any form of physical growth or movement.
Exploration Log 3220 Alpha. On October 12th, a specialized drone was deployed to descend to the bottom of the shaft, a feat never previously attempted due to signal interference. As the drone descended past floor 500, the nature of the SCP-3220-1 instances began to change.
The concrete shells on these lower levels were cracked and pitted. On floor 640, several instances were observed to be weeping a dark, oily substance from where their eyes should be. On floor 800, the glass partitions of the cells were stained with handprints from the inside, suggesting that at some point in the distant past, these entities were capable of movement. At floor 990, the drone's camera captured something anomalous within the central tower. Through the observation window of the pillar, a silhouette was visible. It was a humanoid figure, significantly taller and thinner than the entities in the cells. It appeared to be sitting on a stool, its elongated neck craned forward, pressed against the glass. It did not move as the drone passed.
Upon reaching the floor of the shaft, floor 1000, the drone discovered a massive drainage grate. Analysis of the air at this depth revealed high concentrations of ozone and the scent of rusted iron. In the center of the floor, directly beneath the central pillar, was a single open cell. This cell was different from the others. It contained no glass partition. It was empty of any SCP-3220-1 instance. Instead, the walls were covered in frantic etched markings. These markings, when translated from an archaic form of Sanskrit, repeated a single phrase: "The eye must never close, for the sculpture is the only thing keeping the world from looking back." Incident Report 3220 Omega. Following the drone exploration, a low-frequency vibration began to emanate from the central pillar. Seismographs within a 50-mile radius spiked. For exactly 4 seconds, every light within the facility flickered out. When power was restored, the drone at the bottom of the shaft was found crushed as if by immense atmospheric pressure.
More concerning was the report from Floor 1. The instance of SCP-32201 in Cell 04, the only instance the Foundation had attempted to physically move for study, was found to have changed its orientation. It was no longer facing the central pillar. It was facing the exit elevator, its concrete head tilted at an angle that suggested it was listening. A secondary scan of the central tower's observation boards was conducted immediately. On floor 1, the silhouette within the tower was gone. On floor 2, it was gone. On every floor down to 999, the observation windows were empty.
When the camera reached the window for floor 1000, the silhouette was there. It was no longer sitting on a stool. It was pressed flat against the glass, its featureless face filling the entire frame. Forensic analysis of the image suggests that the entity is not made of concrete, but of highly compressed, living human skin.
A small inscription was found on the interior of the glass on floor 1000, written in fresh red ink. It read, "Maintenance required. The warden has fallen. The sculptures are hungry for a new mold."
Since this incident, the vibrations have ceased, but the internal temperature of all 40,000 instances of SCP-3220-1 has risen to 42 degrees Celsius. They are beginning to sweat. The fluid in the brass tubes has changed color from translucent to a deep arterial red.
The Foundation has officially reclassified the lower levels of SCP-3220 as a high-risk zone. The central pillar is now believed to be a biological entity in its own right, acting as a massive neural relay for the prisoners. We are no longer certain if the Panopticon was built to keep these things in, or to provide a constant stream of visual stimulation to a god that lives in the Earth's crust. If the entity in the tower is the warden, and the warden is now at the bottom of the shaft, we have to ask ourselves,
Who is currently watching the upper floors?
And more importantly, what happens when they decide to stop watching? Containment remains focused on total isolation. No further exploration is authorized. We are simply waiting to see if the concrete begins to crack on the surface.
If you want to stay updated on the most dangerous anomalies in the Foundation's database, subscribe now.